once again for the NDT Kids Connection. Family and child counselor and educational therapist LorrainePursell is here. Today's topic is when to let go, and that's a big one for parents, especially in this day and age. You know, we hear so much about the helicopter parenting and that sort of thing, and I would imagine it starts really early in childhood, not when you're actually waving them goodbye as they're going off to college.
Yes, in fact, I just heard this story the other day that as soon as your child learns to crawl, they're trying to get away from you.
They're running.
It's
running.
Scary.
I know, and it's not until they get a little older when they look back and decide, you know, hey, maybe I should get some advice. That's the age-old thing, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, but you know, how do we as parents let go? It's so hard. We don't want them to get hurt.
Yeah, but it's so important that we teach them their strength. In 18 short years, they're going to be able to emancipate. How will they survive if you're always rescuing them and taking care of their situations and talking to their teachers for them and talking to the mother of the bossy kid? It's like you have to teach them and coach them how to actually speak to their teacher, how to actually speak to that, you know, bossy playground mate, or how to pull from their own strength and their own abilities.
Sure.
It's huge.
And I think it's a relatively modern phenomenon, really, because I don't remember my parents hovering over me like that.
No,
right.
Me neither.
And you have a story that you tell that kind of illustrates this. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you think of a butterfly coming out of the chrysalis, finally it's ready, and it's going, I can't get out, I can't get out. You think, oh, if I just tear that chrysalis just a little bit and help them, you've actually killed the butterfly, because all of that struggle gets the fluid into their wings so they can actually fly.
Okay.
So that's, you know, like our kids. If we can let them, watch them struggle, you're there if they need you, but ask, do they really need us, or is this something that they can do on their own? Because they need to get the strength in their wings so they can fly.
That's kind of the key. It's not like you just open the door and say, well, goodbye.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, you do have to be there for them in case they do fall down.
Absolutely.
Whether they recognize it or not, you're the one with the wisdom, right?
Well, yes.
We like to think.
We like to think. But you can be there standing by without them knowing that you're standing by and watching. There's a way to do it, which I call being stealth, being a stealth parent. Think about the I think it's the B-12 bomber that was the stealth that missed the radar. Giant airplane in plain sight, but couldn't be picked up by radar. So how can you operate with your child without them feeling like you're smothering them?
And here's another thing, too. Do it my way. Well, you know, what if they have their own way, and do we necessarily have to teach them our way?
Really a good point. We want to actually have them foster their way, because their way is what they're going to do when they leave our home anyway. So you might as well give them their sea legs with their way and the way they want to do things. It's just important to teach them to follow up and follow through and finish and those kinds of things. But to do it their way, hey, if it's accomplished and it's done well.
So basically, don't let your fear get in the way of raising your child.
Very good. Yes, absolutely. That's one of our biggest challenges as parents, to not let our fear get in the way of raising our kids.
Okay. Now, one thing that we've talked about before is stop yelling at your kids. And this is a book that you've written. Tell me about that. Yeah,
it's a 50-page free ebook at stopyellingatyourkids.com, where I go through ways for moms to source themselves so that they're not frazzled and stressed and worried, but they're taking care of all of that themselves so that they're not caught yelling.
Is when to let go something that you mentioned in there?
I'm trying to think.
That's maybe not.
It's threaded throughout the whole thing.
Sure.
Yes, about teaching your child to be independent.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's the important thing, because you don't want to raise a child who can't get by in the world without you. Because let's face it, they are eventually going to be without you.
Yes.
That's the healthy thing.
Yes.
We raise them and we let them go.
Yes, we want them to be fully equipped human beings to go off into the world.
And just really quickly, if mom and dad are having trouble with that, what do?
Well, if you're having trouble with letting go, you can contact me, you can contact any kind of counselor, any kind of coach, and they can help you through that process of letting go. But it might be some deep inner fears inside of you, and maybe even some abandonment issues within yourself.
So you need to deal with that. And here's some information that you can see on your screen and how to contact you and how to get the book. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, Monica.
We'll be right back.
Truck guys can't stop talking about Ford.